when I got back, and I was down in Chicago at that time, at the time, at Ward's, and I called her. I think it was then that I was there. I called and found out that they had had a baby that miscarried. The reason, she said, was that they had this Rh factor, the blood factor.
Oh, remember
at
that?
time.
Yes, yes.
Well, at the time, I had a fraternity brother who was a doctor at that time in some children's hospital, or I think it was a children's hospital, just north of there someplace, in Milwaukee maybe. So I called him, told him about it, and he said, "Oh, for God's sake," said, "tell him to go over to the University of Minnesota, and because they have ways of getting around that." So they did, and then they gave birth to a son who they named Paul after me.
Oh.
And he's now. I got him out to California then later, after when I left Ward's and came out to the Cal Gas job.
Right.
And I remember he gave him his first airplane flight out here, and we got one of those jets, you know, we go up.
Wow.
And he says, "Ooh, what a feeling!" I'll never forget that. Ooh, what a feeling. So anyway, then I got him a job with one of our company retail outfits up in Jackson, I think it was. And the manager there said, "Oh, he'll never make it." He wasn't a mechanic by any means. I mean, he's about as bad as me when it comes to mechanics. But in the meantime, of course, I was best man at his first wedding, but then he had about 2 or 3 weddings after that.
Oh no! Oh jeez.
Yeah. And for one reason or another, they all parted ways. But then he went and got a master's in business administration somewhere in the Bay Area at some school there, and he got a lot of good jobs. After that, he went in with got in with 7-Eleven, I guess.
Oh wow.
And was what do you call it? The personnel manager of a district or something, and then from there he went and was personnel manager of the whole outfit in Dallas. And then lately, then he got a job with Blockbuster.
Right.
And he was one of the 2 vice presidents.
Paul.
And unfortunately, he lost his. Huh?
This is Paul.
Paul Stevenson.
Your daughter's cousin.
Yeah. Well, no, he's
your nephew.
My nephew.
Right,
yeah.
your daughter's cousin. Right.
No, my daughter's son.
I hung out with him last weekend.
My daughter's son.
I hung out with him last weekend.
Oh, that's right. You were down at his condo.
Well, I didn't go to the condo. We saved him spots at the concert.
Oh, that's right. They met you there.
And met us there, and it was a lovely evening. Might have been a little overpowering for Paul, because we were dancing till our feet hurt.
Yeah.
We really loved it. And when that band played How Far Is Heaven, oh my goodness. And the view, and the lights on the bridge, and the sunset was gorgeous. I just really felt blessed being there. It was really nice.
Yeah, well, they enjoyed it
really
too,
fun.
I'm sure.
Now, your first job, like my first job outside of my parents, was raking leaves for Mr. Roseborough, Captain Roseborough, acquaintance of my family, or good family friends. What was your first job like that as a young child? So I was in 3rd grade, I think.
The first job I remember, and getting a Social Security number and so forth, was as a delivery boy for a grocery store that was about a block and a half from my home in Hudson.
Now, did you get tips?
No.
for that?
No.
Was there any funny
But I
stories?
drove a car.
Oh, so that was fun. You got paid to drive a car.
Yeah, right.
And being a young man,
Yeah,
that
right.
could have been better.
Yeah.
Do you have any funny stories about any deliveries that you
No.
can recall?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. Now, what was the nicest thing a friend has ever done for you?
Gee. Be a friend, I guess. Well, maybe I could say it was introduced me to my wife.
So who is his friend? What's his name?
Well, he wasn't a close friend. He was just a friend. He was one of the partners in a local propane company up in Garberville.
Do you recall his name?
No, I can't right off.
Okay. And do you recall how the introduction was done?
Yeah, I came up there. That was when I was auditing the books of a lot of the retail companies that we sold fuel to.
Mm-hmm.
So we wholesaled the propane to them, and we offered them the service of accounting and safety and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
And so I went to Garberville was one of those companies, and I went there, and
Lo and
she was
behold.
sitting behind the desk. And then the partners got smart, and so they invited both of us to some function at some, like.
Was it unbeknownst to the both of you? You
No.
didn't know that she was coming? Or you knew they were doing this?
No, they just, I didn't know that she was there. I didn't know anything about until I walked in their office, and she was sitting behind the desk doing work.
Right, but then you went to a function later.
Well, then they invited us to a dinner.
In front of each other. You said, why? They said, why don't you all come?
No, they invited both of us. I don't know how and
Oh,
when,
okay.
whether it was inviting both of us at once or just
So my
separately.
point is, did she know you were coming, or did you know she was coming?
I don't think she knew that I was coming.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That is a pretty darn nice thing for a friend to do for you. Introduce you to your wife of all those years.
Yeah.
Let's see. Could you name your children?
What do you mean? Name them. Now?
Right. So you have, who's the
Kristen.
oldest?
Kristen was the
Mhm.
oldest, and
Mhm.
Shelley, and then Piper,
Okay.
and Tracy, and Todd, who were twins.
So Shelley was born December 17th,
Mm-hmm.
1959.
I think so.
And how about Piper?
She was born, well, I don't know exactly.
Oh, you keep notes. That's smart.
Yeah.
My father would do that.
I've got one in here, I know, birthday. This is a nice system, except you forget.
You still have to sort through
Forget
it.
where the card is.
Right.
And sometimes you forget, you lose the card and you forget where it is. Here it is.
Okay.
I've got my grandkids and everybody in here. Kristen was born in September 15th, 1958.
Oh, right before Shelley.
Yeah. Shelley was born
December
17th. Yeah.
1959.
59. Piper. Here she is. March 12th, 61. Tracy and Todd. were twins. We were born,
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
yeah, September 5th, 1962.
Wow.
They were all, at one time we had, what was it, 5 kids under the age of 4? Yeah.
And you lived through it. You survived
Yeah.
preschool. Now, what was, do you recall each child's 2 things? What their first job might have been, and what mischievous act that you recall they did when they were younger? You want to start with the oldest?
I don't know any mischievous cat.
Or a funny thing that happened. I think I told you the story before. My mother told me to put on a, this was back in the day when you bathed your children every Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Once a week.
I think that's what that happened in our family.
Right?
I
So
grew up.
my mom said, put a clean pair of underwear on every day, Sarah. And so by the end of the week, I had 7 pairs on. I did as she asked. So do you have a story like that that's kind of funny, say with each
No, I
child?
don't, but the only thing I think of, you see that picture up there?
Uh-huh.
With the drummer boy and God and his,
Oh, yes.
I think Kristen organized that, she was the oldest.
Oh.
So Todd, the boy, was the drummer boy.
Drummer boy.
And they had, one of them was God, so forth. And they told my wife and I to not to come out, and so we had to stay in our bedroom or something, I think it was.
While they did it.
While they got all set up, and they had us come out. So we took a picture.
Now that's a lovely thing.
Yeah.
We used to do things like that. We would do newscasts and do the news or the weather or what have you. Do you now? How about Shelley? Was she a reserved child?
The one thing I remember about her was that she never talked. I mean, I think, when is this kid going to start talking? Say something.
Well, she got all that attention by not talking.
No. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, she started not only talking but reading. And it was Kristen who taught her how to read.
Do you recall how old she was?
No.
Like 3 or 4 probably?
Probably, yeah.
Now, that's really wonderful because I think Beethoven didn't speak till he was 5.
Was there?
So, Shelley's there with the greats.
Yeah.
Now, how about Piper?
Piper had a problem because she, what happened? Oh, it was something with her hip, and we had to wheel her around in a wheelchair and stuff.
Really?
For quite a while.
When she was young?
Yeah, and I got guys down at the shop where I work at Cal Gas.
Right.
Heard about it, so they made a little thing we could wheel her around in.
They made it for
her?
her?
It had a pot, yeah. And we had to lift her up, back in, and so we were concerned about her for quite a while.
And then how long was she ailing?
Geez, I don't know.
Can't remember.
Could have been.
But that's indeed another nice thing a friend has done for you.
Yeah.
Found out about your daughter like that. Now, what about Tracy?
The one thing I remember about Tracy is that I came home from work one day and drove up in the driveway and parked the car, and Tracy was out in the front yard. She came running over to me. Daddy, Mom has got something to tell you that's going to make you very nervous.
What was it? She burned the chicken?
She'd gone shopping. I bought all the kids' shoes. That's so.
And that's what made her. That's what's gonna make you nervous. Is that she ran up a bill on shoes.
Yeah.
But she was pleased that she had new shoes, I bet.
Yeah.
Now I can't wait to ask this one. How about Todd? Since he's the only boy.
I don't know. All I remember about it, the thing that sticks in my mind quite a bit is I got mad at him one time, and I was about to show him I was gonna, give him
Let him have it.
let him have it. And then I got in about the middle of that, and I realized he was about as strong as I was, so I didn't really give him a very bad time.
Do you recall how old he was?
No. No.
That's funny. You realized he had equal strength.
Yeah, right.
Now, how about this with each child? Do you remember when you would ask them when they were younger, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, I wanted to be an oceanographer, but then I had something wrong with my ears. I can't go down underwater with that pressure.
No, I don't ever remember.
Like, did Todd want to be a fireman or
No.
a police officer that you can recall?
No.
Okay. All right. How about? Oh, this will be a good one. What comes to mind when you speak of your daughter's first suitors? Anything come to mind about their first date? And maybe how you felt about it? Because that was really a letting go and a trust.
Yeah. No, I can remember when they first had a date and all that sort of stuff, but I kind of took it,
With stride?
stride, yeah.
Do you remember how you felt?
No.
Do any boys stick out that you might remember? Well, there was this one boy that she dated.
Shelley?
Oh, okay, Shelley.
No, I don't know. No, there's no one boy that
That sticks out?
Sticks out, no.
Now, did any of your children go to college?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, who and where?
Shelley and Kristen.
Shelley went where?
I think she went to San Luis Obispo and then down to San Diego State or something.
And she got her what degree? Bachelor's of Art?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
And do you remember what she majored in?
No.
How about Kristen?
Same. They both went down there.
Oh, really? And they both got BFAs. How about Tracy?
Didn't go to college.
How about Piper?
Piper didn't.
And
She
Todd?
should have, but she didn't.
Did Todd?
No, well, he did. He went part-time to a junior college.
Junior college. Right.
And tried to learn accounting. I remember.
Oh, goodness.
And I thought, that for a while there, he had a grasp of accounting. So I thought he might continue it, but he didn't.
So what does Todd do now?
He drives truck for the Brown Company, UPS.
Oh, nice. My friend does too. How about Tracy?
Tracy is busy taking care of her kids.
Mother of
Leah and Miranda.
Okay. And husband's name?
Is Fred Haynes.
Fred Haynes.
Incidentally, that brings up he's got all these restaurants.
Okay, what are they called?
Well, most of them have the bistro name on them. And
Bistro
he's
33.
got one in Davis. He's got
3 of those.
Yeah, and one in
33rd Street
33rd
Bistro.
Street Bistro. That's the first one.
Susie's.
He's got about 8 of them, I think, now.
Susie's, Trey,
Yeah.
Riverside Cafe.
Well, it's Riverside Clubhouse.
Or Clubhouse, right. There's
And
one at a casino, isn't there? Like a sushi bar? I thought. I think there's like a
No,
Creek?
he likes
Cache
sushi
Creek?
bars, but I don't think they own one.
Hmm.
They have, in Eldorado Hills is
Is a
another
Bistro 33,
bistro, yeah.
right? And Midtown and Davis, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then, this is something that'll kill you. He's up at, one of the little cities on Highway 80.
Mm-hmm.
If you named the city, I think I'd remember which one. Talking to a automobile dealer for Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, he's looking into buying a dealership?
No,
Oh, buying a Mercedes.
no.
What?
The Mercedes-Benz dealer is some young guy, according to Fred. And they got talking, and the Mercedes-Benz guy, I guess, offered the possibility of his setting a restaurant up in his big showroom of the Mercedes-Benz.
Okay, what a concept.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
look at Trey. Trey was a new concept
Yeah,
with all the different aspects of it.
yeah,
Wine bar, tequila bar,
Yeah.
vodka bar, sushi bar,
yeah.
tequila bar. I don't know if I'm
Smoke
missing
bar.
smoke bar, um,
And dance halls.
and dance hall. Right, right. Well, I don't know that they call it dance hall today.
No.
Lounge.
Dance
Disco lounge.
floors, or whatever.
So anyway.
I guess, I said, why would this guy want to do that? The only answer I got, I think, was that, well, he probably thought that, if they get guys into their showroom, and they want to keep them there, what better thing to have some good food for them to.
And gazing over the
Yeah,
Mercedes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have an appetizer with that Mercedes. Can I order the coupe?
Yeah. So Tracy is riding around in a Mercedes now.
Oh, how lovely. What a good husband.
Yeah.
Now we're up to Piper, what she does now.
Yeah, she married a guy who was an accountant
Oh, smart man.
who was working for a company located or headquartered in Red Bluff.
Hmm. Beautiful.
And he had gone to school at Chico and knew some people there and friends and so forth. So they ended up buying a home in Chico. And he, with a job with this outfit out of Red Bluff. And he went around there doing auditing work what they were doing was they had franchises for resorts and lakes and all that sort of recreation areas in Northern California, for the most part in Northern California. Now then, he decided after they were raising the kids that he wasn't seeing too much of them and so forth, so they bought a franchise for accounting. Paid $60,000 for it, I think.
That's a steal.
Yeah. And then she is with him, trying to help.
She works with him.
Yeah, she did work for what was the name of that company? They sold rings and everything.
Justin?
No.
They sold rings?
Well, jewelry store, a local jewelry store.
Oh,
here.
like Devon or?
Yeah, Devon's, I think
Okay.
it might have been Devon's.
Okay.
And then she ended up with the
Or Kay.
manager of the Devon's up in Chico.
Ah.
But then she quit that, and now she's working with her husband in the accounting field after they bought this franchise, which I thought was awful steep, but.
And their children are named and how old?
Well, wow.
There you go. Pull that out. And do you recall how Fred met Tracy?
Yeah, they met somehow because he had a job with one of the local, well, it was a restaurant chain restaurant.
Like a Chili's, Chevy's.
Yeah, something like that.
Applebee's. Red
God, why can't I
Lobster.
think of that name?
Olive Garden. Elephant Bar.
Anyway, he started out here, and I think she met him here, and then they got married.
No, wait, so she went into his restaurant
Yeah.
and was introduced to him?
I think so. I don't know how they met, but she
But
met
met at
him,
the
I think,
restaurant.
in this restaurant. And then they decided to get married, and he got a job almost immediately with the outfit in Honolulu. So they moved to Honolulu, and they lived there for several years.
Wow.
And then they moved from there to Seattle, and then Portland. Then, about that time, he, with his younger brother, Matt, started the bistro.
Wow. And you were looking up Piper's children?
Yeah.
And I tell you what, while you look for the card, do you recall how Piper met her husband?
She met a dud to begin with.
Oh.
Yes, it was something like some guy, we were sitting in our living room when we lived in Arden Oaks.
Right.
Came to visit, and he was talking about how he was going to join, I don't know what it was now, but that in a year he'd be making $10,000 or something like that, or 20,000 or something, I don't know.
This was one of her earlier suitors?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
And so you weren't buying
They
it?
might even have gotten married, but
Can't remember. But so, her husband now, do you recall how they met?
I don't know how, but anyway, I was relieved that she got rid of the other guy and
Oh, good.
married him.
Yeah, phew, got the winner.
Yeah.
And her children's names are?
Brant,
And
who was born on January 30th, 01.
01, right?
01, yeah. And
2001.
yeah.
Do they have any other children?
Yeah, they've got a gal. Cute little gal. Erin, who was born June 2nd, 99.
1999.
Yeah.
So they have 2 children.
So they're quite young, yeah.
And then we have Shelley.
No children.
No children, but she did marry Johnny Andrade.
Yeah.
They were married for a while.
Yeah.
And he was a friend of mine. I like him.
Yeah, I do too, but
He's a nice guy.
but he's
got a lot of pain.
He got a lot of pain, and I think that's one of the reasons that
Big reason,
Shelley just couldn't take it too long.
Right, it was difficult. It's a
He
insidious
still calls
disease.
me and comes out here and visits
Right.
every once in a while.
Now that's a sign of a good son-in-law.
Yeah.
You know, he still feels like you're his dad, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I like him. He's a good guy, talented, and I wished he would play guitar more so he would forget his pain.
Oh yeah.
'Cause that's usually the only time he doesn't really have it, is when he's playing, or he just forgets about it. He just puts it off.
Yeah.
But very nice man. Now, Kristen,
I don't know how he gets
married?
by with, huh?
Is Kristen married?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's married to a guy named Rob, who she met when she went to college.
Ah, and what does she do, and what does he do?
Kristen, well, he works for a Union Bank, I think, out of San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And then he left that job and got some job where he was working in the house. And then that wasn't going too well, so he quit that and went back to the original bank, where he's working now, and he's happier than he was.
And he's in management?
No, well, he goes around, kind of a salesman, goes around and checks for customers where their bank does, procedural work for
Right.
other things.
Right.
I'm not too fond of him because he's got one of those little tempers, you know, and Kristen says something or you'll jump on her. But
short on patience.
Yeah, short on patience.
And does Kristen?
And Kristen got a job with the Red Dot. One of the more successful retail outlets.
Right. Oh, Target.
Target.
Right.
And I just mentioned this a little earlier. She'd been with them for maybe 20 years or something, or more. And so she got a good raise about a year ago, and then she got another raise this year. And this is the year when she originally was assigned to certain stores to supervise and that sold entertainment stuff, records and that sort of thing.
Right.
And then this year, and then she got transferred about a year ago with
food prep and safety.
Or just food, just the food in certain groups of stores.
Right.
And then this year, she just recently got a job where they took her back to Minneapolis every time they gave her a new job, and they put her through tests and all that with the mucky mucks in Minneapolis.
Target, right.
And this time she had to go through another, I don't know, but they put her into a test where she had to for food safety.
Right.
But she has the whole state of California now.
Right.
To handle.
Wow.
Which she likes because she can get to Sacramento.
Free. And she got to see you.
Airline, yeah, right.
Now we have to backtrack a second. Shelley won't be happy with me if I didn't ask. What does Shelley do?
Well, she's wholesale food salesman for U.S. Foods
Service.
And she has to work awfully hard these days because restaurants aren't doing all that good, and she has to make sure. And then she gets into trouble. She has to be one of the collectors if the restaurant gets behind and they're purchasing.
And she has to make herself available at all unusual times.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes has to be the delivery person herself.
Yep, yeah.
And she's a multi-million-dollar earner. I mean, for the company.
Yeah.
She brings in a lot of money for them.
Yeah.
And she's been with them how long? Excuse me.
Oh, a number of years.
At least probably since '90, I think.
Yeah.
If I don't know, my recollection is bad too. Now, did we mention if Kristen has children? Oh, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, she has one boy. Kristen does.
Okay, what's his name?
Christopher.
Christopher. Do you know how old he is?
He's about, I would guess, well, I don't know. I got it here, I guess.
There you go.
I should make a new list here. And Paul Stevenson. Still, well, I got him in there. Kristen, Miranda, Shelley, Chuck Fisher. Christopher, I must have it.
Do you think he's a teenager?
He's early 20s, I think.
Oh, early 20s. While you're looking for that, what kind of music do you like?
The big bands.
Oh, like
See that up there?
Like Duke Ellington, Count Basie, what's his name?
Well, I play, it just.
I know him, I grew up with him with my parents. Not Jack Benny, oh.
Well, here, see that trombone up there?
Aw.
That's what I played
You played trombone?
in college. You know,
Wow.
we had like a 14-piece dance band called the Campus Kings. Really good
Wow.
group of guys.
And so, when was the last time you blew the trumpet?
About 1942.
Oh my goodness, now why would you give it up?
Because I went to war.
And then you didn't feel like...
Well, there was nobody else around me at the time that I even knew played a horn. I was over in Italy for
Right.
4 years, and then.
But you never played for your children when they were children?
No, I guess I didn't. No.
Well, my husband did the same thing, but as of 4 years ago, I've known him 20 years, 4 years ago he started up again, and he's loving it.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it's never too late.
No, I know.
Now, what kind of music did Mary like?
Oh, I don't know. I suppose about the same.
Same?
Yeah.
And do you remember what kind of music your kids liked?
No.
Music that you were not interested in,
Yeah,
right?
right.
What one person influenced your life greatly, do you think?
My dad.
Oh, and how so?
I don't know. He was just always kind, always very understanding, very thoughtful guy. Just very likable guy.
Nice. Do you recall?
That's him up there.
Oh.
On the right.
Oh, he's a handsome guy.
Yeah.
Do you recall what kind of traditions you would do growing up?
What do you mean tradition?
Okay, well, like my family always celebrated Christmas like it was Santa Claus. So my parents, every New Year's Eve, would do all the decorating of the house, getting in the decorating of the tree, wrapping all the presents. So my parents never slept on Christmas Eve because they were up all night doing this as if Santa came and waved a magic wand. That's like a tradition. Or we would spread oatmeal.
Well, we used to do the same, and got our, well, I mean, as far as when Christmas came, we'd always line up upstairs on the stairway before we could come down to see what Santa Claus brought us. And what he brought me one year was that horn up there. Well, I've got the horn. It's hanging in my office.
Right.
That's just a replica.
The sculpture, yeah.
That a daughter of one of my friends gave me.
That's quite a gift.
Yeah.
Is a trombone.
Yeah.
So you had all the kids on there?
Then when I got that trombone, I can remember I just loved to play it, and I'd come home and
so you
from
did
school, huh?
You did play it when you had children?
No, this was when I grew up, when I first got it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And I'm going to grade school, 5th grade, 6th grade,
Gotcha.
7th. And I'd rush home just to play I'd practice the trombone. And then the band director in my high school was the father of my girlfriend.
That was a good
So that helped,
connection.
and so then he taught me. He needed a cello in the orchestra, so he taught me it was the same kind of information. He taught me how to play the cello, so I played that in the orchestra just to fill in, you know.
Oh my goodness.
And then I did a lot of singing in a boys quartet and a boys choir and the mixed chorus, and so that's all.
So you were a triple threat.
Yeah.
Singing, trombone, and what was the other? You just said?
Well, a quartet, a high white quartet, and
No, another instrument you played.
oh, cello.
Cello, right. So that's a triple threat.
Yeah, and I played basketball and football.
Quint, I don't know how to say 5. Now, do you recall what traditions you did with your children?
Oh, yeah. After the first thing they got out of school, we'd go to Shasta and get a houseboat, and I'd train them how to water ski. And
Now
Mary and I would sit out in the middle of a big bay and watch them water ski, and gradually I'd take over and show them how to run the boat. And
as they grew.
Water ski themselves, yeah.
Now that is quite a tradition. Yeah. Boy, no wonder.
And that's where Shelley got the idea of getting a hold of people that she knew to.
Right, and I would go on houseboating trips. I wish she would plan some more. I would love to go. I really would.
Yeah. And now, we had a great time the last time. We took Shelley and Sandy.
You did. Oh, yeah, right. You had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What was your favorite holiday?
Well, Christmas, I guess. Gifts at Christmas.
Because of the gifts. And because when you had children later, seeing them get the gifts.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What's your favorite ice cream?
Chocolate ice cream.
Yeah. Boy, that's simpleton. So you're just a happy guy with chocolate.
Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
Brown, I guess.
Wow, now that's unusual. Most men will say blue.
Oh, is that right?
How about your favorite movie?
One I can't even remember the exact name.
Do you know who was in it? What actor?
All I remember is that there was something about High Sierra or the. And there was a father and son in that movie, and Humphrey Bogart, I think, was in it.
Oh.
And one of the reasons I remember it is that the old man, they were looking for gold, among other things. And when they found some, I remember the old man, I could just see him, jumped up in the air and clicked his heels. and the reason I still remember it so vividly is that when we found this piece of property.
Oh, you did that.
I felt just like doing that, like jumping in the air and kicking my heels because I liked the view so much.
Oh my, you did pick a wonderful piece of property. This view is stunning, and I love the wild turkey sauntering by.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Now, I think I know the answer to this, but what is your favorite food?
Or mashed potatoes, I guess.
Mashed potatoes with?
With what?
Chicken, I think you told me.
Oh, yeah, chicken
right?
and mashed potatoes.
Chicken and mashed potatoes, okay. How about your favorite dessert? For me, it's tiramisu.
Any kind of pudding, I guess. Chocolate pudding.
Chocolate pudding. Oh, there's that chocolate again.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite president?
Not Obama. He's right.
Oh, yeah, you and my husband.
Oh.
So you probably liked Reagan.
Oh, Reagan is, yeah.
So he's probably your favorite?
Yeah.
Because he was honorable.
Yeah.
Stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Approachable.
Yeah.
How about, can you recall a favorite saying or quote? Like my parents would say things like waste not, want not, grown by the inch, killed by the foot if you walked on the grass.
Well, ask not what the country
ask
can
not
do for
what
you.
you could do for your country. Ask what, ask not what your country can do for you.
What can you do for your
country?
Yeah, that was just kind of funny.
Oh, that really was. And nobody will ever be like John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Except Reagan.
Now, what do you want your children and grandchildren to say about you? My grandfather was a great...
Oh, I don't care. I'm not great at anything.
Come on.
No.
You were very good about planning family traditions, going on those houseboating trips and whatnot.
No.
So my grandfather was a great...
No, I put fisherman at
Oh, fisherman. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Now that's what I would expect you to say. That's good. Okay. Now, what was the most important thing that you taught your children?
Not to pay interest on credit cards.
That is so accountant. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to snort. That was funny.
And it was a good thing,
That
too,
was
because
funny.
you know what the credit cards are
Oh
doing.
my gosh, you're not kidding.
These days.
Now, do you have any regrets and why?
Oh, yeah, that one regret I have is that I didn't sit down with my grandfather and grandmother and ask more questions about their life and stuff.
That's so very poignant. And I have to share this with you. I saw this thing on the news, and they're called blue zones, people who live the longest. And one of the keys found in all these blue zones is that the seniors were honored and revered and looked up to. And they often went to them and talked to them. And they really didn't have a heavy paced schedule. They would welcome people and so forth. But I thought that was interesting how it's not only important for the young to ask questions to the old, but it's also good for the seniors too, in their longevity.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you could do, here's you speaking. If I were to do my life over again, I would never...
I would never what?
Like go fishing without bait.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. I just don't know. I mean, I'm
Was
happy with the.
That says a lot about your life.
I'm happy with the companies that I joined and the work that I did with Cal-Gas and
The family.
the family and all.
What do you still want to accomplish? Gotcha on that one.
Well, a little longer life.
More time with your family,
Yeah.
I bet. Let's see. How about this? If I were to do my life over again, I would continue
First thing that came to me was learn more about music. I don't know why I said that.
I'm so glad you said that, because that was one of your passions.
Yeah.
That you kind of put aside to raise your
Yeah.
family. And actually, that's why I'm grateful Jimmy's taking it up again, doing something for himself.
Yeah.
Because your love language to your family was a big one was acts of service, which is working to provide shelter and food for your children. That's something I learned after my father passed that he had done for me, which I wish I knew. If you could be other than accountant, what would you be? I think I know. think I know.
A trombone player.
You think?
I wouldn't mind that, I guess. But I would have to be.
Benny Goodman.
Yeah, Benny Goodman.
You would be in Benny Goodman's band. See, I knew I would come up with that. Because my father loved jazz. Gene Krupa, Louis Prima, Keely Smith, all of them. Fantastic. Now, when you're with Mary one day, what do you want your kids to say about you?
When I'm with who?
With your wife.
What would I what?
What would you want your kids to say about you?
How does Mary come into that?
No, one day when you go to heaven.
Oh. What would I want? What?
Your kids to say about you. Boy, my dad, he sure was a good... like provider, or he was fun to be with on trips.
What would I
want your children to say about you?
Oh, about me.
Yeah.
I don't know. My dad was always thoughtful about us.
Oh, just like what you liked about your father.
Yeah.
And I believe that to be true because of all these trips that you planned on the water with your family. I mean, what a lovely way to share with your family.
Yeah.
Where everybody's happy, including you and your wife.
Yeah.
Now, this will be the last question.
All right.
Now, and then you'll get a breather. And we'll be all done. When you move on to heaven, where do you see your spirit?
Oh, God.
I had to throw you a tough one for the last one. It had to be tough.
Where do I see my spirit? Spirit. I don't know.
Like, it could be anything. It could be with your wife, with God, always with your children and your grandchildren.
Oh, I see what you mean. Well, let's say always with my family.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because my father has passed, and you probably might think I'm a little Looney Tunes, but he was a mischievous sort. And he does things like incessantly shuts off the TV. One time he turned up the volume on the TV. We were watching, this is what we did as kids, we watched home movies with no audio. And we would laugh and tell jokes about it, and oh, look at Gail, oh no, booger's coming out, oh no, cracking up. So we were watching movies of my kids when they were younger, and it was dinner time, and I said, okay, shut the TV off, and they said, no, Mama, no. And I said, okay, well, you're going to mute it, because we're going to have conversation at the dinner table. So they muted it, so there was no volume. So we were enjoying our meal, and next thing you know, and nobody was near the remote or the TV, the volume goes up and up and up and up and up and up and up, as high as it could go. So I said, and then Rachel started crying. So my father's nickname was Pooba, or Pooh for short. So I said, okay, Pooh, it's real impressive, but let's dial it back. It's scaring Ray a little bit. And he goes to my sister often and turns on toys and takes knobs off off drawer pulls and such. I know, you might think I'm Looney Tunes, but when I found out it was happening to my sister, I thought, oh good, I'm not crazy. Okay. So maybe you'll do something mischievous like that, like hide the bait on fishing trips.
Yeah, right.
There's where your spirit lies.
Yeah, right.
Now, I guess I have one more question. Who would you like to dedicate this tape to? Did you want to dedicate it to somebody?
I don't know, the kids, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because that's why we did this.
Yeah.
That's why we sat down and asked questions about
Yeah.
your life, so that people can actually see you, not just hear you,
Yeah.
but see you. And they may say, "Oh, look at grandfather. I sit like that all the time." Right? And they'll be able to see similarities in your face. Now, I'm not kidding. I was looking at Paul this last weekend, and I would see you and him about 3 times at night. I said, "Wow, he really looks like Mr. Jones."
Is that right?
Yep. And I realized that 3 times that night.
Huh.
And that's your nephew. I know. But you know, he's a very sweet man. We really enjoyed ourselves. But that's good that you dedicated it to your children. And I have to say, I'm very honored to have been a part of this, to ask you these questions. I was lucky to do this for my parents. Kicking and screaming, they would add. And I do appreciate all your patience and your time.
Oh, well, it's been a pleasure.